Kingdom Plantae consists of organisms which have autotrophic mode of nutrition. They can prepare their own food from the inorganic substances and transform the inorganic substances into organic form. So carbon dioxide and water is used in order to form starch or glucose in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So the plants or the kingdom plantae, they have presence of plastids or color giving substance which is a chlorophyll. Chlorophyll molecule can be present in form of chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids, or various other colored plasmids. These plantae, they have reserve food material as starch because the glucose molecule they polymerize to form the starch, and starch is deposited in their body. Plant's outer cell wall is present and it is made of cellulose. So it is very tough and rigid and helps in protecting the plant from any outer injury. Other than that, each cell of the plant, it has presence of central vacuole. So central vacuole is the cell organelle which is responsible for the turgidity of the cell. Other than that, the plant cells, they have presence of specialized tissue known as xylem and phloem responsible for the movement of water within the cell. The three kingdom classification system which we initially studied, it classified the plantae into metaphyta, and these were the plants which were multicellular. We will be studying about this plantae or the metaphyta now. So the plant kingdom plantae is classified in various ways. So one of the classification criteria is this, which we are not going to follow. We will follow the other one, but since here it is very easy to understand, so that's why we can use this in order to learn it properly. Algae and bryophytes, algae bryophytes and pteridophytes, they are grouped under Thallophyta, whereas gymnosperms and angiosperms, they are grouped under another category, that is the phanerogams. And as such also algae bryophyta and pteridophytes, they all do not have seeds, so that's why they are called as cryptogams. We will be studying about the alga today, so we will just see the chlorophycia, the examples of chlorophycia, phaeophycia and their examples, along with rhodophycia and the examples of rhodophycia. We are following this type of classification system. It is the monocot. Cryptogams, the seedless plants, the plants which do not have presence of seeds. Thallophyta, it means the plants which have presence of thyloid structure, that is no well differentiation of the root, stem and leaves, whereas bryophytes, they are little differentiated than the thallophytes, but still they are not so well differentiated. Pteridophyta, they are even much more advanced as compared to the bryophytes, and they have presence of stem and roots. Even leaves can be at times understood, or we can differentiate them into leaves as well. If we see the Thallophyta, they are categorized into three groups: red, brown and red alga. Sorry, red, brown and green alga. Three groups are there for the Thallophyta. Three different kinds of alga are present in case of thallophytes. So we will study about them in details today. First of all, the kingdom Plantae, it includes multicellular eukaryotic organisms who are having photosynthetic nutrition. Cells are typically having the cellulose wall. Sap vacuole is present, which provides the turgidity to the cell. Plastids give color to the cells, either it is chlorophyll or sometimes carotenoids in order to give orange color or some other color giving substances are present like anthocyanin and others, leucoplast. Several photosynthetic pigments which always include chlorophyll A, because chlorophyll A is the main chlorophyll which is responsible for photosynthesis. These plantae can be grouped into two broad categories: cryptogamy and phanerogamy. Cryptogam, Cryptogamy are the seedless plants or the plants which do not have seeds. They include the Thallophyta. which includes all the alga, rhodophyta, red alga, phaeophyta, brown alga, chlorophyta, the green alga, bryophytes, as well as the pteridophytes, because they are also seedless, and they do not have we do not see the presence of seeds in the case of bryophytes or the pteridophytes. Whereas the phanerogams, they have the presence of seeds, and they are grouped into two categories: the gymnosperms and the angiosperms. The bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms, and angiosperms are termed as the land plants or embryophytes. One more innovation in case of these plants is they have, like, you can see the embryonic development, the course of evolution in case of these plants. The land plants can be vascular and have tracheophyta, or can be non-vascular. Vascular in the sense they can have presence of proper tissues for transportation of water, or they can lack it, as in case of bryophytes. Bryophytes do not have presence of proper xylem for the conduction of water. These are some of the green alga which are visible. Sometimes they are present in colony form. Other times they are as such even present in the water. So the surface of water, you can see it is green in color, and it is because of the algal bloom. Here also, the rocks which are visible, they all have algal bloom over them. Thallophyta, the members of Thallophyta are distinctly described because they are the simplest in the lower plants. Undifferentiated bodies are there in case of them. So they are basically the alga. They are prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic, photosynthetic for sure, and have presence of thyloid body. It means the body is not well differentiated into root, stem, and leaf. You cannot look at into an alga and differentiate it into its root, which portion is the root, which is leaf, and how does it look like. The different structures cannot be well differentiated in case of them. The alga belongs to plantae that can be described as non-vascular because they do not have presence of xylem phloem, and they also do not have presence of embryonic development. Like, we do not see the embryonic development taking place in them properly. In case of Thallophyta, there are three main groups. One is the green alga, red alga, as well as brown alga. They are differentiated into these few categories on the basis of the different photosynthetic pigment present in them, the storage product present, the cell wall composition, as well as if they have presence of flagella in them or not. This is a typical green alga which is growing in the seashore because continuous water logging is there. Characteristic features of the alga: they have the presence of chlorophyll, they are autotrophic, they are aquatic or semi-aquatic depending on the kind of environment in which they are present. Some of them, they have association with fungi, so they are lichen. We have already studied about lichen. So lichen has is a symbiotic combination or association of an alga and a fungi, and even it is present at times on the on some of the animals. Mollusks, for example, they have their outer body rich in algal bloom, because the alga, they get mollusk, they move from one place to another, and as they are moving, the alga, it is also getting photosynthesis from the surface. So this is how it is helping for the alga to grow. It ranges in size from microscopic unicellular form like the Chlamydomonas to Colonial volvox and to filamentous Helothrix and Spirogyra. So the alga, there are various types of alga present. At either they can be just one cellular, they can form a colony. At times they are filamentous. In case of Spirogyra, if you see, they are filamentous, and even in case of brown alga, you will see that they are large kelps. You will see that huge long grasses are present, and they are actually alga. In case of brown alga, you will find it. The sex organs in them is unicellular and non-jacketed. There is no outer covering in case of sex organs. The body has sporophytic as well as gametophytic stage. Sporophytic stage is the 2N stage, or zygote is present in this type, like the spores, they are 2n in number. If I just talk about the nuclear content, the chromosomal content is diploid, whereas in case of gametophytic stage, haploid structures are present. The vascular system is already absent in case of the alga. The dominating plant body is a gametophyte in case of algae. This is very important. The gametophytic stage or the haploid stage is predominant. It is present at maximum time period for the case of alga. The alga reproduce by vegetative, asexual as well as sexual methods. Vegetative reproduction occurs in Spirogyra in case by the process of fragmentation. So the entire Spirogyra, which is the filamentous form of green alga, it breaks into different small fragments, and each of the fragment gives rise to the entire Spirogyra, and it is vegetative reproduction. Asexual reproduction occurs with the help of zoospores, and these zoospores are fragillated, so the they can move from one place to another and can fuse to form the new plant or the sporophyte. Sexual reproduction is through fusion of two gametes. So two gametes are present in case of sexual reproduction. It can be isogamous, as in case of Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra, because both the spores, or sorry, both the gametes which are present, they are of same type, same size morphologically as well as anatomically. Both are motile, or both are capable of fusing with each other. That is in case of these two. And isogamous, in this case, what happens is one of the gamete is capable of motion, whereas the another gamete is non-motile. So the motile gamete is smaller in size, whereas non-motile gamete is larger in size, and larger uh, non-motile gamete is the female gamete, whereas the smaller motile gamete is the male gamete, which fuses to form the zygote. And the oogamous species are also present. So this is the different kinds of sexual reproduction which occurs, and all the three different categories of alga are chlorophysia, phaeophysia, and rhodophysia. First which we study about is the chlorophysia. As the name suggests, chloro means color, or here it should be green alga, green plants. So that should be kept in mind. Chlorophysia will be having the green pigment within them, and they will be the green alga. So the habitat, mostly freshwater, sometimes marine, terrestrial, like the places where water logging is there, at times airborne, but some green alga can live on the surface of the snow, tree trunks, soils, so they are present almost everywhere. In symbiotic associations also they are present. Photosynthetic pigment present in them is chlorophyll A and B. This is very important, you should learn it properly. At times carotenoids are also present. Cell wall is composed of polysaccharides including the cellulose. Carbohydrate storage is the starch, and it is stored in the plastids, leucoplast especially. Flagella is 2 to 8, and it is apical. Apical in the sense, if we see the structure of Chlamydomonas from the head, it will be apical portion, it will be arising in case of Chlamydomonas. Example: Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eleutheryx, Spirogyra, and Cara. All of them are different types. Like Chlamydomonas is a unicellular free living type, Volvox is a colonial form, Eleutheryx is a filamentous form, Spirogyra is a filamentous form, Cara is a, again, a leaf-like form. So you can see all of them over here. Chlamydomonas over here. First one is the, this one is Chlamydomonas. So let's begin horizontally. Pedestrum. You can see the kind of structure it is forming. Next one is Eleutheryx. It looks like filamentous form, or certain small boxes arranged one after another. It has presence of these filaments. Each of the filaments, if they break, they form the new bacterium, or you can think that it a new alga can be formed if the fragment is broken off. Next is about the Spirogyra. The Spirogyra is a filamentous form which has presence of filaments, and each of the filament has presence of cells within it. Coidium is the next type which has which you can see over here, the green water water having these alga, and the tides, water tides bring these alga along with it. Cara is or sorry, Idogonium is the next one. Cephalourius, I'm sorry, is the Cephalourius is the form which is present in the water, and Edogonium is a filamentous form. Spirogyra is again a filamentous form. Coidium is leaf-like form. It is little developed than the other, whereas Cara is also much more developed as compared to the rest of the Chlorophycia forms. You have to learn at least four of them, which is important. You should also learn Chlamydomonas for sure because it is a unicellular form. Phaeophycia is the next algal form, and that is the brown alga. So most of the brown alga, they are marine, and sometimes even freshwater forms are present. They have presence of pigments like fucoxanthine and carotenoids. Fucoxanthine and carotenoids, because of presence of these pigments, they are brown in color. Cell wall component is cellulose and alginic acid. Sometimes sulfated polysaccharides are also present in order to give the brown texture or color to the plant. Carbohydrate storage is in the form of laminarine and mannitol. Flagella are two, and the flagella are laterally present. Lateral arrangement of flagella is there in case of Phaeophycia. Example is Ectocarpus, Dictyota, Laminaria, Sargassum, and Fucus. You can just see the different forms over here. They all are the largest forms which are present. They are known as the seaweeds or the kelps. They are very rich in if you see their structure, they are very rich in phycocolloids, and even these because of presence of these phycocolloids, they are capable of surviving in freezing temperature. So they are found in the rocks of freezing temperature because of the presence of these chromatophores within them. They have the chromatophores or the thylakoids which are present. They are discoidal or ribbon shaped in case of Phaeophycia, and even at times the pyrenoids, they are naked in case of Phaeophycia. Xanthophyll is present in case of color giving substance, and the kind of reproduction which we can see in case of Phaeophycia is isogamous, and isogamous as well as oogamous. So laminarine, Dictyota, Sargassum, these are some of the examples in case of Phaeophycia. These are also some of the structures of brown alga. You can just look into them, and because of presence of these phycocolloids, they are capable of surviving the freezing temperature. Now, one small thing I should say, you can see the brown texture or color. The cytoplasm contains small vacuoles, and these vacuoles, they have presence of fucosine vesicles. Fucosine vesicles are as such that they have presence of fucosan phenolic substance within it, and this substance, when it is inside water, it is colorless, but it turns brown or black when it is exposed to air. So because of presence of this fucosan vesicle, the color of brown alga is brown. Rhodophycia is the next category of alga, and they are mostly marine. They have presence of chlorophyll A, D, carotenoids, phycobilins, phycoerythrin. Because of presence of phycoerythrin, there is this color, or they are actually red in color. The cell wall component is cellulose, pectin, as well as calcium salts. They have presence of Floridian starch as the storage product. There is no presence of flagella, and these rhodophycia, they have presence of unicellular forms. but the unicellular forms are very less in case of rhodophysia. Some of the examples are Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Glacide, Gracilaria, as well as Gelidium. These are some of the examples. Gracilaria is this red saffron colored plant. This first third one is Gelidium. Gracilaria and Gelidium is very important because they are used in formation of jam, jellies, as well as agar is extracted from them. So in preparation of ice creams and all, these are very important. Even for the biotechnological studies, agarose is important and it is extracted from these. Porphyra is the first one. You can see it is very rich in Floridian starch, and that's why it is consumed as a very staple food product. So these are some of the red, green as well as brown alga, and all of them, they are marine, mostly marine, but they all are thyloid organisms having a thyloid structure. So this some of the economic importance of alga we can discuss as an end. At least half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on earth is carried out by these alga. They contribute to oxygen, increase in the oxygen in the atmosphere, because most of the alga, they are present in huge amount in the water bodies. They are primary producers, so they are the main source of food for the aquatic organisms. They are highly rich in oxygen, or they increase the amount of oxygen, dissolved oxygen in the aquatic bodies, so the other organisms, they can survive well. The various species like Porphyra, Laminaria, and Sargassum are consumed as food, as salad, whereas certain marine brown and red alga, they produce hydrocolloids, water holding substances like algine and carrageen, which are used commercially. Agar is formed from Gelidium and Gracilaria, and it is used to grow the microbes in agar cultures as well as in preparation of jellies and ice creams. Chlorella and spirulina are green alga, which are unicellular alga, and they are used as protein sources or supplements for the space travelers. So these are some of the economic importance of alga, and thank you very much. I hope you all have understood everything. You have to learn minimum of 4 characters and 4 to 3 examples and 5 to 6 examples of economic importance along with the scientific names.